As I ventured further into the heart of the Rockies, the landscape became increasingly rugged and the wilderness ever more untamed. Rex, my trusty companion, remained vigilant, his keen senses a testament to the years of hunting at my side. The cold mountain air invigorated us both, the scent of pine mingling with the heady anticipation of the hunt. It was on the second day that our unsettling acquaintance made his first appearance. A flash of movement caught the corner of my eye, and there he was. A figure, tall and lanky, dressed in tattered rags, lurking among the thick pine trees. His giggles, high-pitched and eerie, danced through the forest like leaves in the wind. When I turned to get a better look, he darted behind a massive pine, disappearing from sight. "Did you see that, boy?" I whispered to Rex, who had his nose to the ground, his hackles raised in response to the stranger's laughter. My voice rang out through the trees as I called out, offering assistance or directions, but all that greeted me was the echoing laughter, sending a shiver down my spine. In that moment, I couldn't quite put my finger on what was wrong with the man, but I knew, deep in my gut, that something was amiss. As the days passed, the peekaboo man became a constant presence on our journey, lurking at the fringes of our world. Each time we glimpsed him, he would vanish into the depths of the forest, leaving only his unsettling laughter in his wake. I began to question my own sanity, wondering if the isolation and the relentless pursuit of our elusive prey were playing tricks on my mind. The fourth night was when our venture took a sinister turn. The wind howled outside our tent, and sleep remained a distant dream. In the midst of the darkness, we heard it, footsteps, slow and methodical, circling our camp. "Who's there?" I called out, my voice trembling. Rex stood at attention, his growl deep and threatening. There was no reply, only the stifled giggles that filled the night, seeming to come from all directions. My heart raced as I unzipped the tent, rifle in hand, prepared to confront our nocturnal visitor. But the peekaboo man remained elusive, his eerie laughter following him into the depths of the forest. My stalwart companion, Rex, had lost his usual bravado and huddled close to me. I held my rifle with a trembling hand, every nerve on edge, waiting for the man to reveal himself. Yet, despite the tension in the air, the night remained silent, save for the mournful wail of the wind. At first light, I wasted no time packing our gear and fleeing that cursed place, leaving behind the enigmatic stranger and the unsettling laughter that haunted my dreams. As I journeyed back to the safety of civilization, I couldn't help but wonder about the purpose of the peekaboo man and the twisted game he played. It was the autumn of '93 when my hunting partner Joe and I ventured deep into the vast expanse of the Michigan Upper Peninsula, a land of dense forests and unforgiving terrain. We were in pursuit of the elusive white-tailed deer, our rifles loaded with anticipation and hope. Our campsite nestled near the banks of a tranquil lake, the water so clear you could see the ghostly dance of fish beneath the surface. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a fiery hue across the sky, we sat around our crackling campfire, sharing stories and laughter. Little did we know, the laughter would soon turn into unease, and the tranquility of the lake into a haunting mystery. The first signs of the strange occurrences appeared on the third night. Joe, an experienced hunter and a man of unshakable resolve, was roused from his slumber by a peculiar sound. A guttural, almost inhuman growl seemed to emanate from the very depths of the forest. The hairs on the back of his neck stood on end as he reached for his flashlight. But when its beam pierced the darkness, he found nothing but the rustling leaves and the whispering wind. Unnerved but determined, we resumed our hunt the following morning. Our rifles remained ever at the ready, as we stalked our prey with a sense of unease hanging over us like a dark cloud. The deer, usually abundant in these parts, were scarce, as if they too sensed the growing tension in the air. It was on the fifth day that things took a sinister turn. As twilight descended upon our camp, we heard it, a series of bizarre, discordant whispers that seemed to emanate from the very trees themselves. The voices, if one could call them that, were distorted, as though spoken by creatures not of this world. "Did you hear that?" Joe muttered, his eyes darting wildly. I nodded, my heart hammering in my chest as we exchanged fearful glances. We were experienced hunters, but this was something beyond our understanding. As the night deepened, our campfire became a feeble island of light in the impenetrable darkness. The whispers grew louder, more malevolent, and we could make out fragments of words, incomprehensible and chilling. "Just go away," I heard one voice hiss. The second night of this unnerving symphony found us huddled together in our tent, clutching our rifles for comfort. The voices had grown closer, and we could now hear their deranged laughter and the scrape of unknown objects against the canvas. "Who are you?" Joe shouted into the night, his voice laced with desperation. But there was no answer, only the relentless whispering and mocking laughter that seemed to echo through the trees. We dared not leave the tent for fear of what we might find in the darkness. Morning finally came, bringing with it a welcome respite from the nightmarish whispers. Without uttering a word, we packed our gear and left the cursed place behind, our rifles silent, our courage tested. To this day, Joe and I cannot explain the horrors we witnessed during that fateful hunting trip. We speak of it only in hushed tones, our voices trembling, and our souls forever scarred. Some mysteries of the wilderness are not meant to be unraveled, and some encounters are better left unexplored. So, heed my warning, my friends, and if you ever find yourself deep in the heart of the Michigan woods, be vigilant, for there are whispers in the night that may forever haunt your dreams. In the heart of the Montana wilderness, where the vast expanse of pine forests and rugged mountains stretched as far as the eye could see, I embarked on a hunting trip unlike any other. The year was 1998, and the hunt for elk was our pursuit. But what we encountered was a chilling tale etched into the annals of my memory. My hunting partner Jack and I were seasoned outdoorsmen, well versed in the ways of the wild. We had chosen a remote and seldom visited region of the Bitterroot Mountains for our expedition, where the elk were rumored to roam in abundance. The isolation was both our ally and adversary, for in the wilderness, there is no guarantee of rescue when the unforeseen occurs. The first night in our makeshift camp, nestled amidst towering pines, was serene. A crisp autumn breeze whispered through the trees, and the stars painted the night sky with their brilliant glow. We shared tales of past hunting adventures around a crackling fire, confident in our abilities to navigate the wilderness. The second day dawned with promise as we ventured deeper into the forest, following tracks and signs left by our quarry. Hours turned into miles, and the realization that we were far from the safety of our camp did not escape us. But the thrill of the hunt propelled us forward. As the sun dipped below the horizon, our pursuit led us to a secluded valley blanketed by a dense pine canopy. It was there, surrounded by nature's majesty, that we heard it, a haunting melody carried by the night wind. It was a tune neither of us could identify, a melancholic melody that tugged at our souls. We followed the eerie music to its source, a dilapidated cabin nestled within a clearing. The structure seemed as ancient as the forest itself, its timbers weathered and gnarled. The melody grew louder as we approached, and our hearts quickened with trepidation. Inside the cabin, we found an old, out-of-tune piano, its keys dancing with a spectral touch. There, seated at the piano, was a figure cloaked in shadow, their face obscured. The haunting tune continued, and we watched in awe as the keys played themselves, as if guided by unseen hands. "Who are you?" Jack's voice trembled as he called out to the mysterious pianist. No answer came, only the mournful music that filled the cabin. We exchanged bewildered glances, our senses on high alert. The room grew colder, and our breath hung in the air like ethereal apparitions. In the flickering light of a single candle, we saw the figure rise from the piano bench and slowly turn towards us. It was then that terror took hold, for the face that emerged from the shadows was a grotesque mask of decay and malevolence. Hollow eyes met ours, and a twisted grin stretched across its pallid visage. Without hesitation, we fled from the cabin, our hearts pounding with fear. We dared not look back, for the melody had turned into a cacophony of haunting laughter that echoed through the valley. Days turned into nights, and we navigated the unforgiving terrain, haunted by the memory of that sinister cabin. It seemed as though the wilderness itself conspired against us, leading us in endless circles, denying us escape. Finally, on the brink of exhaustion, we stumbled upon a remote ranger station, where we recounted our harrowing ordeal to the incredulous ranger on duty. He assured us that no such cabin existed in the area, and that we were likely victims of fatigue and hallucination. Yet, Jack and I knew the truth of what we had experienced, and to this day, we cannot forget the haunting melody that echoed through the Montana wilderness, a melody that spoke of ancient secrets and malevolent forces hidden in the heart of the untamed wilds.